LeBron James has been an iconic figure for this generation of the NBA. What do players coming up in this generation really think about LeBron? From having LeBron's poster in his dorm room to being starstruck the first time he ever played against him in the NBA last season, Donovan Mitchell has looked up to LeBron James for a long time. It turns out that Mitchell grew up idolizing LeBron and was even at the decision press conference when he was 13 years old. He was so excited to see LeBron go to Miami. He wanted LeBron to finally capture that first ring. He respects LeBron and the leadership he brings into a team, but Mitchell said if he had the choice, he'd rather beat LeBron than play alongside him. During an interview, Donovan Mitchell shared his view on the offensive struggles with the Utah Jazz. He even tried to pitch Paul George to join the team rather than LeBron James. Donovan Mitchell said, "We want to win. We're not selfish. If he comes in, it's going to make life a lot easier on the offensive end. He's also a great defender." Then they asked, with LeBron being the biggest name in free agency that year, would he want to play alongside the king? And Donovan Mitchell's exact words were, "Would I want to play with him? Who wouldn't? But if I had a choice on playing with him or beating him, I'd rather beat him." And Donovan Mitchell recently did a Q&A at his old middle school, where a kid asked him what his biggest inspiration was, and Donovan said, "Basketball-wise, I'd probably say LeBron James. He was a big one. I grew up when they hated on LeBron, so for him to be able to take a lot and put a lot on his shoulders, that was what really stood out to me, because not a lot of guys want that pressure, want that role, but he took it head on. So that was really impressive to me." Leading candidate for Rookie of the Year, Ja Morant, has already secured a spot in the NBA, but he recently paid homage to the king. The Memphis Grizzlies got the best of LeBron and the Lakers recently. While fighting for a playoff spot in the Western Conference, the Grizzlies were led by 27 points and 14 assists from Rookie of the Year frontrunner Ja Morant, who helped secure the 105-88 victory. LeBron finished with 19 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds. After the game, ESPN caught up with Morant, who talked about how LeBron has been a role model for him during his young career in the NBA. Ja said, "That's big bro, the king. I mean, I feel like everybody knows who he is. Just someone that I look up to. A great role model. He's just one of a kind. I don't think there can be another LeBron." Complex Sports recently posted a picture on their Twitter of LeBron at one of Bronny's AAU games, and the caption said that LeBron was pretty much being too much of a super fan. I should just let the kids play. Ja was one of the many athletes who took LeBron's side on the topic when he said, "But moving to him, cheering for Bronny and his team, imagine being one of those kids on that team and LeBron is going crazy, cheering for you and bringing you in as part of his family. What kid nowadays wouldn't want that?" With Lonzo Ball having the chance to play alongside LeBron, he learned a lot and even had a lot to say about the king. In late 2019, Lonzo was on a podcast explaining how him and LeBron began to grow closer as the year went on. And he even said, "The person who's mentored me the most in the last year is probably LeBron. Just being with him pretty much the whole year, same team, same bus, same hotel. I was just always with him, picking up what I can from the greatest to ever play." And Lonzo recently appeared on an episode of Big Boy TV where he explained what he admires most about LeBron. He said, "It was dope. I mean, he was my favorite player growing up, so it was a little different for me. Just his work ethic. I mean, year 16, the way he's taking care of his body was crazy. I see why he's in the league for so long and still playing at a high level." With Luka Doncic being one of the few young stars who gets a lot of attention from LeBron, there's no surprise that Luka has said a lot about him. Many international players, including Luka, often find a special player and use them as inspiration for wanting to get to the NBA. And Luka recently spoke about how a certain player inspired him to come to America. At the beginning of the season, a ton of hype surrounded Luka going up against LeBron, as they were already drawing comparisons. And after a ridiculous game where they both showed up and put up crazy numbers, Luka was asked what it was like going up against him, and he said, "There's something special for me for sure. I looked up to him as my idol. It was just great for me. Like I said, it was special. It'll be a day that I remember." In December of 2019, Luka led the Mavericks past LeBron and the Lakers. And after the game, Luka spoke about LeBron, reflecting on the first time he faced him and how nervous he was. After the game, Luka said, "Back then I was more nervous for sure. It was something special for me. He's someone I admired growing up. I admire him today too." Earlier this season, Luka joined LeBron as the youngest players in the history of the game to score a 40-point triple-double. And you know the king was the first to congratulate him. LeBron posted a picture of the two of them and he said, "He's one bad mofo." After this, Luka started getting LeBron comparisons, but he quickly shut him down, saying, "I'm nowhere near that. I'm 20 years old. It's my second year in the league. Anything can happen. So I gotta prove a lot." With Jason Tatum already drawing a lot of praise from LeBron himself, he also had a few words about LeBron as well. When LeBron was still in the Cavaliers, the Cavs faced off against the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, where in Game 7, Jason Tatum rose up and dunked on LeBron. After the game, Jason was talking about the play and he said, "I knew when Brad drew the play up, I told myself I was gonna dunk the ball. I remember I told myself, just go to the rim, go try to dunk it. I obviously didn't know he was gonna be down there, but when I turned the corner, I saw him and I was like, uh-oh. I just knew how to try and dunk it as quick as possible because obviously he's a great shot blocker. It just happened so fast. I don't even remember jumping. I just remember jumping and then I blinked and I dunked on him. I chest bumped him." With Ben Simmons still being a young player in the league, despite him playing like he's been here for a while, he and LeBron have said many things about each other in the past. Before LeBron chose to play in LA, he was rumored to maybe join the 76ers. After hearing that LeBron was going to take his talents to LA, Ben Simmons spoke about LeBron's decision and being a bit disappointed, saying, "A little bit at the same time, he did the right thing for him and his family, but it would have been great to learn from him being on the team and obviously competing for a championship. But we have the pieces to get there." And LeBron isn't one to dish out comments about someone being better than him, but he recently gave Ben Simmons a lot of praise. And he said, "You have an opportunity opportunity to be better than me, but you can't skip steps. You have to do the work. As Simmons even replied by saying, part of his greatness is that he wants others to be just as great. Zion Williamson being the player most compared to LeBron James right out of high school, of course he's had a lot to say about him. Prior to their first career matchup against one another, Zion had a few things to say about LeBron when he said, I used to watch him all the time, especially when he was in Cleveland the first time. He was just an incredible player to watch. He always held his own. Sometimes I feel he doesn't get the respect that he deserves, but it's not for me to decide. And after the matchup where the Lakers walked away with the win, Zion had a lot more to say about LeBron, saying, it was a great experience. He's an incredible player. His resume speaks for itself, and he showed it tonight. They got the win, and that's what we were trying to get. I mean, he's an incredible player. I don't know what y'all ain't understanding about that. He handled business, came out here, and he did what he had to do to help his team get the win. Zion also talked about not being starstruck over LeBron, but still excited to share the floor with him. And he said, not in that sense, but I do know what you're saying. I think what you're talking about is one of those things after the game where it's like, played against him. Dude, you've been watching on TV for a long time. I think everybody has those kind of moments depending on who they grew up watching. But I just bounced from team to team, seeing different players and even people I play with at college. It's always great. And of course, with Zion signing to the Jordan brand prior to the season, he was actually asked who he feels the basketball GOAT is in his eyes. Zion had a lot to say about the constant debate. He said, I mean, personally, I'd go with Jordan. I mean, I don't know, it's all my opinion, but Jordan was my GOAT. Like, that's what my parents taught me. When Zion was asked about Kobe in particular, he said, Kobe's obviously up there, but I mean, I'm going with Jordan. That's my pick. LeBron and Kobe are probably tied for second because it's hard to compare them. What LeBron's doing, no one else has done. But for me, that's what I grew up watching. I think what people grew up on, that's what they're gonna pick. Hey, yo, dog, if you don't click on this video, dog, a rabid coyote is gonna come out of nowhere and bite you in the ankle, okay? That's very serious. You might have to get rabies shots or something. Very serious right now. Just click on the video, okay? Quit asking questions.